What's going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gentlemen, in this video we are taking a look at 30 plus confirmed characters for the upcoming LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight video game. This list will include both playable characters as well as villains and even some of their henchmen and much more. Now, of course, like always, you guys know the drill. If you do enjoy today's video, please scroll on down, smash that thumbs up button. Let's aim for 1,000 likes. And please also take a moment and let me know what is the one character that you are most excited from this list for. And then in addition to that, a character that is not on the list that you would like to see appear in the game. With all that being said, let's dive on in.
Wanna get nuts? Let's get nuts. I'm allergic to nuts.
And so we begin with one of the 7 playable characters that are confirmed to be playable in this game, and that is, of course, the Dark Knight himself, Batman. And we're taking a look at his first costume, which is his most recent movie-inspired costume. This is the Robert Pattinson Batman suit or Bat suit. This is a pretty dang sleek-looking design. Next, we actually rewind the clock and jump all the way back to 1939 and Detective Comics number 27, which is Batman's very first appearance. So yes, Batman did look a little bit goofy with those ridiculous purple gloves, but yes, this is actually going to be a confirmed playable suit inside of the game. And since we're on the topic of comic books, next we also have confirmation that the Rainbow Batman costume, based off of Detective Comics 241 from 1957, will also be making an appearance in the game. Then we have one of my personal favorites, and this is of course the suit based on the epic Dark Knight movie. I also love the description for this one where they say, does not incorporate or make use of any hockey pads. Of course, from that iconic scene where he says, I don't wear any hockey pads. Or usually he says it better than that, but you know what I'm getting at. Another iconic version of the Dark Knight is, of course, the Batman 89 version, aka the Michael Keaton variant. And yes, that one has already also been confirmed to appear in the game, although we don't have an official character entry for this one like we did for the last few suits, but we do see it in the actual trailer, and we know that it will be a playable costume. And finally, when it comes to the Dark Knight himself, we also got confirmation that the incredibly underrated, in my opinion at least, Batman Brave and the Bold design from the animated series from 2008 until I believe it went on till 2011, maybe 2012. But that design will also be playable in LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. But we're not going to jump away from Batman quite yet, because we also did get a really cool, nice look at the actual in-game character model, it seems like, for Bruce Wayne. We have not gotten any confirmation on whether or not this will be a playable character, but I expect for this one to possibly maybe be like an edit style or like a different costume for Batman, so that you could actually play as Bruce Wayne instead of Batman. Now, outside of Batman, the only other playable character that we've gotten to actually see in action over the course of this Gamescom weekend is, of course, none other than the one and only Jim Gordon, aka Commissioner Gordon. And so with Commissioner Gordon, we also got to see a handful of different designs for him as well. First, we have his default attire, which of course is based on, once again, the Batman movie. This is the Matt Reeves Batman movie. That design looks pretty dang cool. Next, we get to see Jim rocking the absolutely ridiculous outfit that he wears in Detective Comics number 27, all the way back from 1939. So yes, this is the quote-unquote Golden Age variant of Jim Gordon. And finally, we also got confirmation that they will indeed support all original costumes in this game as well, because we got a confirmation that Jim Gordon will have a sheriff variant for him available. And this one is, of course, just titled the Costume Party variant of Jim Gordon. Now, as I have already mentioned, as of the time of this video being recorded, we have gotten confirmation of 7 playable characters being included in the game. One of those 7 included characters is Talia al Ghul, and she's actually a character that we see in the trailer itself, training with the League of Shadows and Bruce Wayne. Now, outside of that, we don't really know much else about her in terms of her alternate attires, like which costumes and which designs will be available. Again, we don't have any details on that front. We don't know any of her abilities, and heck, we don't even know what her special gadget will be, because with a lot of the other characters, we know that they have unique special gadgets available to just that specific character. With Talia, we don't even have that detail. But again, I'm sure as we get closer to the release of the game, we'll learn that information as well. Next on the list of confirmed playable characters, we have Catwoman, who we do literally see for just a brief moment in the actual trailer, and it seems like she's rocking the Catwoman design or costume inspired by the Batman Returns movie. So that's interesting. Again, I expect that we will probably get a slew of different designs for Catwoman. She's worn so many different costumes over the course of her history as a character, both in the movies, the shows, and the comics. So there should be a lot to offer on that front. And when it comes to her, we do actually know and have a confirmation of what her exclusive gadget will be in the game, and that is her iconic whip. Then we've got to give a tip of the cap to Batman's sidekick, aka Robin. Now, they have gone ahead and confirmed that Robin will be in the game, Robin will be a playable character, and they've even revealed that Robin's exclusive gadget or unique gadget will be the line launcher. Now, outside of that, we don't actually know which Robin they are going with, which design they're going to go with, which inspired look they're going to go by. So again, we don't have any details on that front. The closest thing that I could find to it would be the fact that we did get this little Flying Grayson's promotional material, but I feel like that could really play into our next character, because since we're talking about the Graysons, of course, we did get confirmation that Nightwing will indeed be a playable character in this game as well, and I expect this one to be an extremely popular character once he is actually revealed. Once again, with him, we don't even know what his unique gadget will be, although I expect maybe his batons will have some sort of like an electric shock ability or something like that. So that's kind of my early preliminary prediction. We'll see if it comes true or not. And finally, in terms of the actually confirmed playable characters by official sources, we also have Batgirl. Now, similarly to Nightwing, we don't know which version of Batgirl this will be. Is this going to be Cassandra Cain? Is this going to be Barbara Gordon? I guess time will tell. But in addition to that, we also don't know what her unique abilities will be. So again, something to look forward to and something to be excited about as we get closer to the release of the game in 2026. So now that we're done with the confirmed playable characters, let's talk confirmed villains and whether or not some of them might be playable as well. And we begin with Batman's most iconic rogue in his entire gallery, and I'm of course talking about the Joker. We actually do get to see the Joker in the very first trailer. Obviously, the design that we see is inspired by the Heath Ledger version of the Joker. But one of the things I am most curious about when it comes to LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight is whether or not we will get a confirmation that villains will be playable as well. Because imagine how much of the possibilities we could actually see in terms of playable suits and costumes and variants if they confirm that the villains are playable as well. Like just with the Joker, I could probably come up with like 30 or 40 different designs and looks for him that could be included as playable costumes in this game. So I guess as we get closer to release, we'll see whether or not they confirm that. Also, as a slight aside, I have this weird theory where I'm predicting that they might actually try to replicate the original LEGO Batman game. But remember in that game, you play through the game as Batman and Robin kind of from the perspective of the good guys, and then the game flips and you're able to play a bunch of missions from the villain's perspective. What if they did that in this game as well, where we played as the Bat family and the good guys first, but then when we finish the game, that's the post game, is that we actually get the chance to play as the rogues that we've been battling. That would be pretty dang incredible. Now, speaking of incredibly creepy, I should say, we also got confirmation that the Penguin will go ahead and appear in this game. Of course, he played a much more prominent role in the first trailer, where we get to see the recreation of the Batman chase scene, where Batman is chasing down the Penguin in his vehicle. So that was definitely pretty dang cool. But additionally to that, we also have gotten this really cool Penguin poster where we seem to get a hint at a possible alternate costume or attire for the Penguin. And plus, it also possibly spoils some things in terms of Penguin's motivations in this particular story, where it seems like he's probably running for mayor of Gotham City. I am very, very intrigued to see whether or not this poster kind of confirms my theory that these villains will be playable as well, because this would be a pretty dang cool alternate costume for the Penguin. Next up, we also got a confirmation that Poison Ivy will indeed be appearing in this game and will be one of the villains that we will take on. Unfortunately, we did not actually get to see what she looks like, so again, we can only speculate as to which variant they're going to go with. But I do feel like she's going to play a major role in this game, especially because they have gone ahead and specifically named the Botanical Gardens as an iconic location that we'll be visiting on our escapades within Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. So because of that, since it is going to be a prominent location, who else makes more sense than to be kind of the head of the Botanical Gardens than Poison Ivy herself? And obviously, if you guys watched the Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight trailer, you probably spotted at the very end Bane. Yes, he is confirmed to be in this game. Yes, he is confirmed to be a big fig, which is definitely a fantastic thing to see. It also looks like at least his default attire might be based on his appearance from the Dark Knight trilogy, so keep that in mind. And then, of course, as far as another exciting detail that we learned about Bane is that he will be voiced by Matt Berry.
This is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by... Ah! Who put that there?
And then finally, in terms of outright confirmed villains, this is from the actual Lego Batman team. So they have gone out and confirmed these villains, everyone that we've been talking about so far. They also announced that Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, however you want to go ahead and pronounce that one, will also be going toe-to-toe with our heroes in this game. Now, once again, we did not actually get to see which version of Ra's they're going with. So again, as we get closer to release, I'm sure we'll learn about that. Although, based on how much the first trailer focused on the Batman Begins movie when it comes to the origin story of Bruce Wayne, I kind of suspect that we are most likely going to end up with the Liam Neeson design of Ra's al Ghul. I guess we'll see as we get closer to release, but let me know your predictions in the comment section below. Which variant are we going to get for Ra's? So next up, I wanted to go in a rapid fire fashion, highlighting some of the henchmen that we can expect in this game. And no, it's not because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited about all these henchmen. It's more so because I feel like the henchmen basically confirm some of the villains that we can expect to appear in this game, including some unconfirmed villains that have been spotted in the Gamescom demo. So there's some really exciting reveals that we can learn here as well. First and foremost, I just wanted to highlight the Joker's henchmen because I love the fact that it looks like they are inspired by the opening scene of The Dark Knight with the clown mask bank robbery scene. My goodness, this is such a cool looking squad. Really looking forward to, I guess, putting a whooping on them. Next, we obviously have seen a lot of the henchmen that belong to the Red Hood, which does make me kind of actually pause and think as to whether or not Red Hood will be a separate character from the Joker, because it almost seems like he has his own like faction of bad guys instead of like sharing them with the Joker. So something to think about. Also makes me think and wonder whether or not Red Hood will be like a standalone villain. Next up, we move on to the Arkham henchmen, who don't necessarily have an actual affiliation or faction, at least not an obvious one, but there is a villain that will be running Arkham Asylum that we'll talk about in just one moment. We also obviously got confirmation of these kind of basic thugs that don't seem to have any identifiable insignia or affiliation with any one specific rogue. So I don't know if they belong maybe to the Penguin as just kind of like generic bad guys, or if you'll have more like themed looking bad guys, but we do obviously have these like basic or regular looking thugs. Next, we also got confirmation of the mimes slash clowns that will be included in the game. And I did also want to take a moment here and mention that obviously with all of these different henchmen, we've pretty much got confirmation that they will have a slew of different variants, meaning that there's going to be a bunch of them in the minifigure scale, and then they will also have like a big fig version of their particular faction, which is super cool because it basically means that there's going to be a great variety of enemies that we'll get to fight. This next one is actually really exciting and kind of random, but we have this Schumacher-verse inspired Mr. Freeze henchman, who pretty much confirms that at some point in time we will be battling Mr. Freeze within this particular game. I am so curious to see which version of Freeze they end up going with. Obviously, based on the fact that the Henchmen look to be inspired by the Schumacher movies, it kind of makes me think that maybe it will be the Arnold Mr. Freeze. Imagine if they actually get Arnold to do the voiceover. That would be absolutely magical. And since we're on the topic of the Schumacher verse, we also got to take a look at some Two-Face thugs, who again seem to be inspired, at least in terms of the color scheme and the design of the attires that they're wearing, by the Schumacher Two-Face design. And additionally to that, we also got this poster from within the game of Harvey Dent that once again seems to tease a very similar color scheme, and also even gives us our very first look at what Harvey Dent looks like in this game. And then we can probably use our imaginations to kind of come up with a design for Two-Face as well. Oh, I also found this additional little clip of another henchman group getting beat up by Batman. This was from the official Lego Batman website, and I can't quite pinpoint which faction they belong to. I'm guessing maybe Bane, but if you have a better prediction, leave that in the comment section below. So next, let's talk about a few characters that we can expect to appear in the game based on some of the promotional materials that have been released over the course of this week at Gamescom. And first and foremost, we have this little advertisement for Arkham Asylum, where they mention by name Dr. Crane, which to me seems to indicate that he will be the big bad of the Arkham Asylum location. We obviously got confirmation that that will be an iconic location that we will visit, similarly to the previously mentioned Botanical Gardens. And so it seems like Scarecrow will be the one that we will need to battle when we take to Arkham Asylum. And then we also got this little marketing material where there's like a recreation of the Gotham Globe Gazette, or the newspaper within this version of Gotham. And they specifically go ahead and talk about how there's this need for cinema to return to Gotham. But if you read the actual article itself, then you will see by name a specific mention to Basil Harlow, who is of course the very first Clayface, which means hopefully we will run into Clayface at some point in this game as well. And then we also got some outright confirmations of characters during an IGN interview where Jonathan Smith, the head of development for Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, went ahead and confirmed that Batmite would be in the game.
Batmite in the game? Yes.
I'm so curious as to how that one is going to play out, because that is such like a chaotic character. But then in addition to that, he also went ahead and confirmed that Condiment King would also be in the game.
Condiment King.
I am thrilled to exclusively reveal that Condiment King is in Lego.
Yes! He was then also asked a couple of other names and characters in terms of confirmation or denial of their appearance. And it's very interesting that for the following characters,
Harley Quinn.
No comment.
Bob the Goon.
No comment.
Terry McGinnis.
No comment.
Nice coat guy from Batman Begins when Bruce Wayne trades the coat.
Nice coat.
Okay.
No comment.
Okay.
yeah, so even though he says no comment, I feel like some of those are kind of locks for this game. Like, I would be absolutely shocked if Harley Quinn doesn't appear in this game, or Terry McGinnis, but I guess time will tell. So there you guys have it. That is today's confirmed video showcasing 30 plus different characters that have been confirmed to appear in Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Of course, if you guys did enjoy today's video, please don't forget to scroll on down, smash that thumbs up button. Thank you guys so very much for your kindness and your continued support. I will hopefully see you guys here on the next one. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Peace out. See you later, alligators.